Dear students, today we are going to discuss about combination of vibrations at right angles. So this is our fifth experiment. Here we are going to combine two waves perpendicularly. That means one sound wave is coming in this x direction and another one which is coming in the y direction. If these two waves combined, what will happen? So that is our today's experiment. For that, we are going to combine two waves perpendicularly, two sound waves perpendicularly, and we are going to take two sound waves of same frequency. In our today's experiment, we are going to have frequency same. So both of them have same frequency, and that is our experiment. Have a look. Okay, so what's our plan? We are going to combine two waves. So the two waves, let's say in the x direction, I'm going to combine the wave x equal to a1 cos omega t, and in the y direction, I'm going to combine the wave y equal to a cos omega t plus delta, where delta represents the path difference, or sorry, where delta represents the phase difference. Phase difference can be, the two waves. The one wave is coming this way, and the another wave coming from this point, anyway, this way, so that there will be a phase difference, right? So the phase difference can be, in this case, imagine if these two waves are coming from this way, one wave is from here, another wave is here, so that the phase difference is 0. The phase difference can be, delta can be 0, pi by 2, pi, 2 pi, 4 pi, etc., right? So that means if the phase difference is 0, or if the phase difference is 90 degree or 180 degree, what will happen to the combined wave? What's our plan? We are going to combine the two waves perpendicularly, and let's have a look into these cases. The first case, if the path difference is 0, so the wave in the x direction, let's say we are going to feed this into a CRO. That means we are going to combine the first wave in the x direction, and the another wave we're going to sending in the y direction. When we combine these two vibrations, and we can see the output of the waveform using the CRO tube. I will be showing this in the experimental part. Anyway, let's have a look into the theory now. Okay, that means if the waves in the x direction is a1 cos omega t and the waves in the y direction is a2 cos omega t, so that means a1 is the amplitude and a2 is the amplitude. But in this case, we know that we are going to combine the wave with the same frequency. There is no difference in frequency, but there is a phase difference. In this case, the phase difference is 0. What will happen when we combine these two? Let's just look into the equation. Let's say this is equation number 3 and this is equation number 4. So if you divide equation number 4 by 3, we can write in this form, right? Actually, it represents y equal to m, a constant, into x, right? So that means it represents a slope. It represents a straight line passing through the origin, and the slope is positive slope, right? The slope m, it is the ratio of the amplitudes. And let's look into the other case. That means when we combine these two waves, we will get a waveform which will be like a straight line. And of course, if the phase difference is pi by 2, that means 90 degree, we can just simply rearrange, because we know that cos 90 plus theta is equal to minus sine theta. So that this is the x wave, this is the y wave. When we combine them, you just square and divide these equations, we'll be reaching into this form, right? Look at this. We're going to get x square divided by a1 square plus y square divided by 8. It's exactly look like an equation of a circle, right? If these amplitudes are same, it will represent a circle. It will represent an equation of a circle, right? So that means we will have, if the phase difference is 90 degree, we will get a waveform of circular shape if the amplitudes are same. And have a look into this. If you further look into this equation, if I make the phase difference delta equal to 180 degree, and you can see that the x direction a cos omega t, y direction, because we know that cos 180 plus theta is minus cos theta, so that the equation becomes y equal to minus mx. So that means the combined combination will have a slope which will be a negative slope, right? So if you go further, you can see that if I change the phase difference to 3 pi by 2, that means 270 degree. And if I change that into, if I make into 4 pi, so let's have a look into this 2 pi or 4 pi. You will see that 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, all this will be having a 0 if the path reference is 0 degree, if the path reference is 2 pi degree, if the path reference is 4 pi degree, we'll get a positive slope. And while the path reference is 90 degree, you will get a circular shape if the amplitudes are, if A1 and A2 are equal. And let's look at the waveform which we are going to get through the CRO2. So you understand the theory behind this now, right? So this is the positive slope. So this is the negative slope when the path reference is 180 degree. Now in this experiment, what we are going to do, we are going to combine these two waves, and we are going to see the output through the CRO, right? Now look at the experimental part. So this is the setup. This is the setup we are going to use. So here I have a CRO. Here I have a CRO, and look at the picture. So from this source, this is a sound source. So I'm going to feed a particular frequency into the speaker, so that speaker will produce sound waves, and this sound wave travel through this medium, this air, and reaches to this microphone, and this microphone will produce the same frequency, but there will be a difference in amplitude because of the loss. Anyway, so that means here now I have two waveforms, two sound waves, one which is exactly from the source, exactly from the source. This source one I'm going to give to the Y channel, and the sound which produced by the mic I'm going to give to the X channel. That means now I have two waves, right? The wave which is directly from the source, this frequency generator or signal generator, we just fed into the Y channel of the CRO, and the sound which is reproduced by this mic, and actually that sound traveled this much different distance. So this is the path difference. So this is the path. So this much distance it traveled, so that it may have a phase difference. If the phase difference delta is 0, we will get a positive slope, and if it is equal to pi, we will get a negative slope. That's what we understand from the theory. So what we are going to do now, we are going to see the waveform into the CRO. Have a look. So we are doing the experimental part now. So this is the experimental setup we have. Look at this. This is a frequency generator. A sound wave will be produced, and this sound wave we are going to give to this speaker. So the speaker will produce a particular frequency. My plan to have a frequency of 2500 hertz. That particular frequency the speaker will produce, and that is fed to this mic. This mic will reproduce that frequency sound, and we are going to give this to one of the channel of the CRO, and also the sound from the frequency generator is directly given to the another channel of the CRO. That means in the CRO we are going to get two waves. They are perpendicular to each other. So the two waves combine in a perpendicular way, so it will produce a linear waveform as the way that we discussed in the theory. Or you can see that it is in this picture. You look here, when when they are having a phase difference of 0, it will be like a linear one. And when there is a phase difference of pi by 2 or 90 degree, then we will have a ellipse shapes. And further, if you make the phase difference 180 degree, you will have a negative slope. And if you move further, you can see that the waveform is changing. And in our experiment, we are going to locate two consecutive positive and negative slopes. If we know that the phase difference between the two consecutive positive and negative slope is 180 degree. 180 degree means a wavelength of lambda by 2. So you can see in this setup, I'm going to switch this on. Let's see, you will hear some loud noise. Okay, yes, so the frequency is 2.5 kilohertz. I said this frequency is fed to this speaker, and also that frequency is fed to this channel. You see, now you look here, these two waveforms produced by the 2 3 start. Yes, now you can see that 2.5 kilohertz frequency is produced by this generator, and this 2.5 kilohertz frequency is now on this speaker, and also the mic reproduced, and the waveform you can see there. Now I have a plan. I mean, we know that theoretically we are going to do this to combine them perpendicular. Actually, we have an option here in this. By pressing this X deflection, it will make us a combined wave. So that means they combined in X and Y. And I can just to show you, this is the combined waveform. And if I adjust this, you look here, the distance between them, this speaker, look at this distance, the distance between the speaker and the mic, this distance make a path difference between the two waves combined, because this wave is fed to the CRO, and the wave which traveled this much distance is fed to the CRO from the mic. That means there is a path difference. Because of the path difference, there is a phase difference. And we learned that if the phase difference is 0, there will be a positive slope. That 0 or 2 pi or 4 pi. So it is a positive slope. That means we can say that the path difference is a multiple of 2 pi or maybe 2 pi. Let's see, what's my plan? I'm going to move this. Look at this. I'm going to move the speaker a little bit further. And let's see, let's note the distance. What is the point this speaker is? Can you please locate the distance? Yes. Yeah, you can see that this is around 25.4 or 25.3. Okay, this is at 20.53. Look here, I'm going to further move this a little bit. I'm moving. While I am moving, you can see that waveform, you look at the waveform is changing. Now the waveform is like a circle or a parabola, or an ellipse. And if I move further, you see it is going to have a linear one. And we learned that when we get a linear with a negative slope, when the phase difference between them is 180 degree, or the distance between them will be lambda by 2. So now you can see that this is at 33.1. So the previous reading and this reading, you notice that the difference between them will represent half wavelength. You look here, further I am moving, what will happen to the waveform? Look at the waveform. Further I am moving, the waveform is changing again back to the circle shape, or we can say the ellipse shape. And further if I move, you can see it becomes a positive slope. So the distance between two consecutive positive slope will definitely represent the pi phase difference of 2 pi. or we can see that this distance will be the wavelength. Now look here, so let us note down this distance. What is this distance? It is 39.9. 39.9. Look here, I'm going to move it further. Look at the waveform. The waveform becomes ellipse, again a negative slope. Let's note down this distance for the negative slope. It is 47.4. Now I am moving further, 47.4. Now I am moving further. You see the waveform is changing from a negative slope to positive slope. So while we move this, you can see that we can have a different waveforms based on the path difference or the phase difference, and that's the way we are going to conduct our today's experiment. Okay. I'm repeating this experiment with another frequency. Let's say the frequency is 3 kilohertz. Okay. Now look at this. I have a positive waveform, and we are going to note down the distance or the point with the positive slope. We can read it, right? How much? It is, I'll put the light. So you can see that this point is 20.5. Is it? Yes. I'm moving it further from a positive slope to a negative slope. Look at this. I'm getting a negative slope there in the screen, negative slope. And look here, and this point is 26.3. Now I'm going to move it further. I'm going to get a positive slope. Okay. I'm getting a positive slope, right? I'm getting a positive slope. I'm getting a positive slope, and the distance is 31.7, right? Okay, so these 2 points are enough for me to conduct the calculations. Now let's look here. I'm going to change the frequency from 3 to 3.5. I'm also repeating this experiment with another frequency, 3.5. Okay, 3.5 kilohertz, and I'm going to take the first slope, positive slope. Let's say this is the positive slope. Note down the distance. This is 27.6. The positive slope is at 27.6. Now I'm moving it further, so I'm getting a negative slope. So what is the point? Then 33, exact 33, I'm getting a negative slope. I'm moving further, I'm getting a positive slope. Note down the point. It is 38.3, and look here, I have a positive slope, right? 38 point, let's say it is 37.5, 37.5, it is 37.5, and I have a positive slope. So, and from this reading we can do the calculations, because now I know the frequency, and from these reading I will get the wavelength. And note to, actually our experimental objective is to find the velocity of sound waves. Our experimental objective is to find the velocity of sound wave at this air or at this room temperature anyway. For that, we are going to plot a graph because now we have a set of wavelength and frequency. So as per the relation V equal to F lambda. Okay, so we complete the data taking part. Now look at this. We have a set of frequencies. Let's say F1, F2, F3. We did, right? We did for 3 different frequencies, and we get the corresponding delta L, or delta L actually represents from the 2 positive to the consecutive positive to positive, definitely represents the wavelength. Anyway, from this table we will be able to understand the corresponding wavelength of each frequencies, and the sound is propagated through the medium, and the medium here is air. So our ultimate aim is to find the velocity of sound through this air at this temperature. Anyway, so that how can we calculate it? We have a set of frequency and wavelength, and if you plot from the equation V equal to F lambda, we can rearrange them, and if you plot the wavelength along the y-axis and 1 by F, the frequency, 1 by frequency along the x-axis, we will definitely see a straight line which is passing through the origin, and from the slope we will get the slope will represent the velocity of sound at room temperature. And so that we will calculate the velocity of sound at this temperature, and we will be comparing this. So this is the data we have collected in this experiment. Here I have three frequencies, 2500, 3000 and 3500 hertz, and the corresponding two consecutive positive slope for 2500 is 25.3 and 39.1. So this is x2 and this is x1. So two consecutive positive slope that represents a complete wave, right? So this is the wavelength, the lambda we can get from these two readings. So it will be 39.1 minus 25.3, that will be 13.8. So the wavelength, the lambda is in meter, 0.138 meter. So the same way, the corresponding wavelength for 3000 and 3500 hertz are 11.2 and 9.9 centimeters. And from the equation V equal to F lambda, here what we did, we plot the lambda in the y-axis, so that from this equation we can write lambda equal to V into 1 by F. So here it's like y equal to mx. So in the x-axis I plot 1 by frequency, and in the y-axis I plot the wavelength, the lambda. So the slope m represents the velocity of sound at the through that medium, the air, right? What the room temperature, it is actually 24 degrees Celsius. So that the experimental value of velocity of sound is 344.38 meter per second. We get it experimentally. Also, we can calculate the theoretical value of the velocity of sound by the known relation V theoretical equal to V0. V0 means the velocity of sound at 0 degrees Celsius, and it is known 331 meter per second, plus 0.6 times the temperature, the room temperature. That means it will be 331 plus 0.6 times 24. When we do the calculation, we will get it will be around 345, right? 331 plus 0.6 times 24. So that we are getting 345.4 meter per second. So the theoretical value and the experimental values are very, very close, right? 344 and 3. So that's the way, so that we can find the percentages in this experiment, so that it will be very less. Anyway, so this is the one of the objective of today's experiment, so that from this experiment we were able to calculate the velocity of sound. Also we understand the patterns. I mean, if we combine them with a phase difference. In the next experiment, we are going to combine with the two different frequencies, and that we will be looking to the next experiment. That's all for you today.